I just got the...
Hello, one and all. I am your friendly neighborhood CNC guy, Javi from Javi's Woodshop, and I'm just gonna give it a few minutes for everything for people to get their messages and populate. In the meantime, I'd like to give a shout out to my partner in crime, Steve Nealon from Harneal Media. That's Media for all your website needs. In the future, Harneal Media will turn 90 degrees and okay. And we have the Makers Media Network. I just got my stickers in from from Steve. So a little shout out to the Makers Media Network, a group of currently 55 members-ish strong. And we promote each other. We help each other. It's a wonderful mini community within a community within a community of makers helping each other.
Matt says hello. Reginald Stanley Wood Expression says hello. Steve Mischer's checking in.
Hello, Matt, Steve, Reginald. I think I got everybody. And Corey, of course. Let's see. That's and David Jones on his website apparently put this up and next to each other like so, and it looks like it says me. So put the stickers when you for those members of Makers Media Network who receive these stickers, put them up right next to each other, and it will always remind you of me. Not me, you, me. Anyway, moving on. Let's see here. I'll give it another couple minutes for everyone to hop in on the chat. Tonight we're going to do a couple things. Patrick from Patrick's Workshop has asked me to design a mallet. And whether he's here or not, well, if he's not here, he misses out. But I'm going to design a mallet patterned after James King's design. It's just going to be a fun little project. It certainly will not be, if any of you have purchased or admired or envied, which, as I do, James King's mallets. They are an incredible piece of workmanship and made from the most precious of woods. They are works of art. It's funny because every time I see them, I go, "You're not going to actually hammer anything with them, are you?" Because I wouldn't. But what are mallets for? I guess we'll get started, and people will join us along the way. So let us begin by creating a new file. Tonight, what we're going to do, and screen share.
Be Happy John says hi.
Hey, John, how are you? So tonight, what we're going to be doing is we're going to work on, like I said, Patrick's mallet. The other thing that we're going to be working on is I might just take a moment to redo, if you will. 2 weeks ago, I had an incredible cold. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And no, I wasn't drugged up on NyQuil or anything. That was just my stuffy head that caused me to be completely incoherent and took me 15 minutes to make a banana that should take 5 minutes. And it didn't look good at all. Well, I'm clear-headed. I'll show you how to make one real quick.
Dave says hi, and he heard you got a new truck.
Hey, Dave. Yes, I got a new truck. I'm very, very happy with the new truck. I'm looking forward to going up to the Atlanta show and well, driving my truck around. Driving a big old truck. For those of you that are Weird Al fans, Driving a truck with my high heels on. You got to listen to the song. It's funny. But it's just not me. All right, so let's start here, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a mallet head patterned after James King's mallet. I hate advertisements. James King's mallet head. And it's going to be a pretty simple design, if you will. The way we're going to do it, let me just stop screen sharing real quick. The way we're going to do it is we're going to cut a piece of, we'll start with a piece of 4x4. We shall cut the 4x4 to length, and it's just that simple. We're going to use the CNC to cut, let's see if I have a block somewhere that I can, of course not. Never have anything ready. We're going to cut, if you look at imagine a piece of 4x4 from the top, we're going to cut it into like a stretched octagon, if you will. In other words, if you look at the profile of one of these mallets, it will be an octagon, very long. So the router bit will cut the corners off of each side. Then we flip it 90 degrees in a template, in a jig. Another cut for the corners. We repeat this process 4 times. And in essence, you will have the edges, the sides, and everything nice and trim, nice and neat, whatever. When you rotate this 4 times, you're basically shearing off the top corners on the top half. So you're going to get, well, you understand. And if you don't understand, pose the question. I'll continue, and we'll see what we can do here. Where is my cursor? There it is. And back to screen sharing. So, excuse me. We're going to start with a piece whose thickness is, well, we'll put it at 4 inches. If you do not have the capability of a 4-inch gap, don't worry about it. There's ways around that. You could figure those out. But we'll start with a 4-inch piece, and we will start with a rectangle. If I'm not mistaken, from listening to James King, his proportions are, I want to say 5x9. Steve, you wouldn't happen to remember, would you?
No, I haven't seen how he did them.
Yeah, I think they're 5x9. So let's just go 9 inches wide and 5 inches high is the
that would be the equivalent of his Thor's hammer.
Okay. Exactly, the equivalent of his Thor's hammer, something like that. Obviously, you don't want to cut anything that big. Well, actually, if it's, well, let me do a quick calculation here. If we have, it's 5x9, but if we're doing a 4x4, which is 3.5 inches, it's not 5, so it's 3.5 divided by 5. One side is going to be 3.5, and the other side is 70% of 9, which is 6.3. So we're going to be looking at a let's try this again. And this, of course, is for Patrick. We're going to be looking at anchor point is 0, 0. The it's going to be 6.3, I think I said, by 3.5. Here we go, and create. So there is our 4x4, the beginning. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any detailed information as to the angles, so we'll just make up our own, and we'll just say it's 60 degrees just for the heck of it. So one way of doing it, and there's many. Let's see. I'm just going to pick a random number. Eventually, you guys can follow along with this video and start at the appropriate places, and depending on the proportions, the actual proportions. And I would highly suggest what you do is, this is my recommendation to everybody. Go over to James Kings's. That's James. That's King's Fine Woodworking .com. Buy a hammer, and then measure it, and then make one on your CNC.
Andy's backyard and shop says hello.
Hey Andy, how are you? Let's see here. So let's go to this the wonderful little stick function here, and we will start with the point at let's say it's, I don't know, I guess we'll just wing it, and we'll go from here to here and close. Now what we'll do is the center, just so you guys know, the center of this rectangle is 3.15, 1.75. So what we'll do is we will mirror this. Oops, sorry about that. We will mirror this. Not about the job center. Sorry, let's try making a copy, or rotating rather. And we shall rotate it along these coordinates, which is 3.15 and 1.75. And we'll rotate it 180 degrees. Hang on, I believe I have to make a copy, so copy paste. Sorry. Copy paste. Now we can rotate it. And we have one on either end. So it's a simple matter of, I'll just do it real quick. I'll grab the whole entire piece. I'll say mirror. Sorry. And just flip it this way. Actually, yeah, there it is. All right, fine. Undo. Not about job center. Flip vertical. There it is. So we have two copies of the same thing. We'll get rid of the one of the squares. Now we have what looks like a mallet head. Very rough. So there it is. Except we're going to take the scissor tool and cut that, and cut that. We're going to take the join tool. Oh, boy. See what happens when 1 week, when you don't go 1 week. We'll take the join tool, and we'll and I lost it again. Join. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. There it is. I think that's it. Why didn't it work? Here we go. Got to select it again. That's what I wanted. And this one here. Now, all of this, we're going to do the join open vectors. There are 4 open vectors, which will be this corner, this corner, this corner, and this corner. And there you go. We have all 4 vectors joined. We now have a mallet shape, which if we cut with an end mill, let's say we cut cut it at a depth of 2 inches on the outside. Calculate. Now, what I'll do is the following. I'll say preview, and notice we have 1/2. There it is. So if you'll see the shape, imagine, if you will, this is the actually, let me reduce the shape of the workpiece down to the actual what was it, 6.3 by 3.5. And recalculate the tool paths. This is just so you can see a little easier. We have one section of the 4x4 sliced here. Now, when we rotate it 90 degrees, we'll have the next section. We'll have a piece here and a piece here, and this will be a square. And then when we cut this side, we will actually knock off the 2 bottom corners. And then, of course, when we rotate it to the last side, the last pieces. So in essence, I am cutting 1/4 a cut. We're going to be, if you want to look at it this way, if you put the piece in this way, you'll cut half of it. If you turn it upside down, then you're going to be left with a shape that is an octagon. And then the remaining 2 cuts are this way and this way, which will again slice another octagon at a 90-degree angle. So I think hopefully you guys can see that, can see the design. Is there anybody that doesn't see how that's going to turn out? It's difficult to explain without actually illustrating one of James's mallets. And I haven't bought one yet, but I have my eye on those mini mallets made of Coco Biloba or Cocobola or
Coco Bolo.
Coco Bolo. That's it. Then again, nice zebra wood would kind of that's too 70s disco-ish. That's just not my style. Now, one thing you can do to add to this is create in the center a circle, and at 3.15, 1.75, and diameter will be whatever size mallet. I'm sorry, I possibly could, but really I can't help you with the mallet, with the handle. I'm sorry. The let's say the handle is 1 inch, just for the sake of argument. Okay, that doesn't look centered. Oh, I see why. It's 3.15. There we go. So save this for a different toolpath. And again, run the toolpath. It will be profile. It would be on the inside. And we're looking at a cut depth of 2 inches, I guess, is good. If you want to go all the way through, that's completely up to you. But you're going to have, let me go ahead. This profile, rather, this toolpath will only go on the one. Oops, I'm going to need a pocket hole. If not, that's the beauty of having this thing.
Trevor Carter's here.
Hey, Trevor, how are you? That's the beauty of having this thing show up. Let's get rid of this. Let's go back to this. I'm going to anchor that on here. That's annoying. Okay, and we'll try one more time with a pocket toolpath. Calculate, and there it is. Keep in mind, you only want the hole in one position. You do not want... Why did that do that? Oh, it never was deleted. And this should be 2 inches. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Let me just do this one. There it is. All right, so we have our hole for our mallet handle. We have our mallet. Rotate the mallet toolpath 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you should have a beautiful octagonish head mallet. Now, James's has a little bit more detail on the edge. It's got a little lip. So
Jamie's here.
Use your fine woodworking skills. Hey, Jamie. And take care of that if you wish. So let me move on to, I guess I'll move on to the banana.
Kevin Calhoun has just showed up too.
Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Let's see here. And save as mallet handle. James King inspired mallet handle.
That's not a handle, it's a head.
Sorry, mallet head. And okay, so I was saying earlier that while I'm very happy to show you how to make a handle for this thing, in fact, we'll do that just so you guys can see. But I guarantee you, you're better off either buying a dowel if you want to really make a cheap handle, or getting someone, or if you turn it yourself, because there is a right tool for every job, and the CNC is not the tool to you can do it. Just like Izzy Swan can do anything you want with a circular saw. I mean, with a table saw, you can do it. But should you is the next question, or can you do it easier another way? So let's go ahead and create a new file. And just to show you the handle. And this is going to be really quick. It'll be 2 lines. Here is 1 line. We'll make it right there. The next line we shall do, we'll make it, let's see. Copy, paste. Actually, let me do it this way. I'm going to duplicate the line using an array. 2 columns. Sorry, 1 column, 2 rows. And the gap is going to be, the offset's going to be 1 inch. So we have our 2 lines. We're going to create a 1-inch dowel. The lines are 1 inch apart. So we'll take our 2 lines. We'll go to the 3D modeling. This is for you Aspire users. If you don't have Aspire, then definitely go to the lathe. 2 rail sweep. Oh, hang on a second. I need to create a half a circle. It does get a little complicated sometimes. I'll create a circle here that'll be 1 inch in diameter. Close. Then I shall take and remove this span and remove this span. And the reason
Dylan's Woodwork says hello.
Hey, Dylan, how are you? Everything good with me. Let's see. So we have our arc. We have our 2 rail sweep. So we go over here, choose the 2 items. Well, actually, let's just go straight to 2 rail sweep. Now we choose the 2 items. We use selection. Then we choose, as you see in the little tiny, by the arrow, it's asking for a profile. We choose this profile, we click apply, and we now have, and I'll show it to you on the this format. We now have half of a mallet. In past episodes, you know how to use registration marks to flip the piece over, so you get a 1-inch piece of wood, create half, and then flip it over and create the other half. Like I said, this is a very convoluted and horrible, very inefficient way of making a mallet. But Patrick did ask, how could I make a James King mallet with a CNC? And there's your answer. So let's move on to one more quick project here. We'll do that banana. Well, two more quick projects. This next one we'll do the banana that we were going to do the other day, where my head was extremely stuffy. Let's say this is 2 inches. Yeah, let's say it's 1.5 inches is fine. Okay, so we have an 1.5 inch piece of stock. So we'll take 2 curves. We'll take one curve here, and it could be any size. This is the inside curve of the banana. And then we'll take another one, go right from the very close to the tip, a little further away from the middle, and then again, very close. There are the 2 rails of our banana. Now, we want to create a half of a pentagon. The reason why I say this is because the banana has 5 sides, thus a pentagon. Here you go. We go to our line tool.
Jamie wants to know how you can make a JP Woodwork Tiger on the CNC.
A JP Woodwork Tiger on the CNC. Well, let's see. JP, send me the tiger and I'll make one. Okay, let's see here. So we have, let's take our profile. We're going to go straight up, and the length will be, we'll make the, well, whatever length, it doesn't matter. We'll make the length 0.5. Now, since the first length is 0.5, and by the way, there is a reason that I am going vertical, full vertical on this piece, and I'll show you why. This is the short piece. It is full vertical. Now, we'll make another one 1 inch, because the first one was 1/2 inch. We'll make the next length 1 inch, and we'll go this way. And then we'll do 1 inch over here at the same level of this. 1 inch ish. There it is. We want this in line with the first one, or roughly in line. All right. So
yeah.
We have our yeah, Steve.
Jim Dockrell says hi. He's here to add to your analytics.
There you go. So there we have our profile. We have our banana. We go simply straight over to the 2 rail sweep. Choose the 2 sides. Use selection, choose the piece, apply. And now we have our, you shall see it in a second, we have our banana, or almost a banana. There's one more thing we have to do to make it a little more banana-ish. Well, for one thing, I have to adjust this curve, because this should go in more. But aside from those aesthetics, let's go to the 3D model, and we'll go to this particular function, which is called sculpting. And we're going to hang on a second. We want to say sculpting, and yeah. Why did it disappear? I have to choose the component. Sorry about that, guys. So used to doing this on the fly. Okay, so we have sculpting here. We want this diameter as much as possible. The strength, we want it very, very small. And now we shall, actually, let me go a lot bigger than this, as big as we possibly can. So we're now going to take and we're going to, and why isn't it doing it? Because, oh, sorry about that. I've just smoothed it. I meant to deposit. If you deposit it, you go like this, you go, all right, I'm stretching. It's not looking great, but it's okay. And then I'll reduce the brush now. Not that small. And we'll go remove, and we shall remove a little bit over here and remove a little bit over here. So now, if we look at our banana, well, that's a really messed up banana.
Jamie said he sent you the picture, but he's kidding. You don't really have to do it.
This is our banana. It's best to work with this flat, because if not, you're not going to get...
Your banana's got a tumor.
Yeah, my banana definitely has a tumor. So let's try this one more time. With deposit, that deposit is way too ugly. You'll have to play around with the different settings, but for one thing, sculpting, we'll deposit. Oh, there we go. We'll get rid of the smoothness. We'll increase the diameter as much as we can, and the strength, well, we could increase the strength and just go like this. Whoop! Again, way too small. This thing doesn't want to undo with me. Hang on. Here we go.
Dylan says he's going to order Shapeoko this weekend.
Ooh, nice. A Shapeoko. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Well, anyway, we'll go back to... let me go to the original banana that I had worked on after the show. It's like you can't duplicate these things when you need to. But the point is, those are the tools you use. You have to be a little bit of an artist. You have to have a steady hand in order to create a smooth bulge. Man, this is really a messed up talk. This to create the shape of a banana, because it's not just a straight shape. Let's see here. 8:34. I'm going to go ahead and start on my project that I wanted to I wanted to do, which was, let me see if I could spot it, my Maker's Rock album. Some of you have seen a past episode where I was dabbling with a prior Maker's Rock album, but it turns out it's a single, and you know, I like to follow the rules, so I picked a nice album for myself. And this one is what I'm going to do. I'll show you in a second.
Herb's here.
Hey, Herb, how's it going? And let's see here. Come on, where are you? Drag you in here. There you are. All right. I'm going to do the Rush album. So let's go ahead and expand it to the right size, which is 12 by 12. Now the way I'm going to do this is this piece here, the boy, is going to be, I'm going to carefully put a line and leave this untouched. Leave this flat on top so I can actually put a very flat piece of wood that has the image of the boy on it. So, you know, call it cheating, call it what you will, but and the same thing goes for the skull. This part here can be easily, the roll the bones can be easily created. And the dominoes, well, dominoes not so easy to create, but rather fun. So let's show you and practice how to do grids.
Jim Dockrell wants to know if you can do the Robin Trower's Bridge of Size album on the CNC.
Oh, I'll take a look at that. You know, after the Maker's Rock album is over, if any of you have any suggestions, because this week I'll be next week I'll be going to the show, and your
video is due out on the 20th.
And the video is due out on the 20th. So I'm going to be making this album. Any other future albums, I'll be happy to take on after the Maker's Rock area, just to goof around with the designs, because a lot of these albums have incredibly and intriguing designs. For instance, we want to create a grid of dominoes. We're going to start with grooving the lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excuse me while I count here. 2, 3, 9, 20, 21 lines. Let me double check that. 1, 3, 8. So 21 lines. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 lines. Now I'm not counting the outer ones, because I'm just going this way. Now, here's something fun we can do. Well, call it fun if you will. This is an interesting tip. First of all, we're going to create the lines. I want you to create any size line, as long as it's straight up and down. Right? So we have our line. We want to create 21 lines. We want them a certain width and a certain height. That is going to be the vertical lines of the grid. And then we want to create 15 horizontal lines, and that'll be the horizontal lines of the grid. This is by far the easiest way to create a simple grid with your CNC. And what's more, it will avoid, let's see, let's go back to the image here. If we actually had to create like boxes, then we would be engraving a box, then engraving a box. It would be very inefficient use of the tool. The most efficient way is to have the tool go straight across a bunch of lines, horizontal, one direction, and then in the other. So moving on, here's the tip. First of all, you want to create, you want to do the duplicate, the linear array of copies, and you don't really care about the distance, and you don't care, all you care about is number of, in this case, it would be 1 row and 21 columns. I'm going to make the gap or the offset 0.1. It doesn't matter. On the X 0.1, on the Y 0. So copy, boom. It created a bunch of little lines. Well, here's the funny thing about lines. When you expand it, it's still a line. You're not going to get a fatter line. When you expand it this way, it will expand the length. So simply go to your piece now. You've created 21 lines, and that's equidistant from each other. And as long as you select them all and expand the box, well, that's all you really need to do to create one side. And I'll show you an easy way to create the second one. But here is the bitmap layer. So now I'm going to take the lines.
Mark Lindsay's here.
So I'm going to take that little grid of lines that we created, and we're going to stretch it where the last line touches the last line. We'll stretch it this way for this line, and you'll know they counted wrong, which I probably did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, sure enough, as always, I counted wrong. So let's do a quick. Righty, go back to the original line.
Dylan's taking off.
Have a good one, Dylan. We'll duplicate this time 22 and go back to our increasing the lines. And if you'll notice, or as you will notice, they should line up perfectly, assuming the creator of this Rush album, you know, didn't...
Paul Stewart said, copy, paste, and rotate 90 degrees for square.
That's exactly right. Copy, paste, and rotate 90 degrees. And the beautiful thing is, so close this. I'm going to do a copy. I'm going to do a paste. I'm going to rotate and 90 degrees. But there are 21 lines here, and I need 15. Or sorry, 22, and I need 15. Luckily, dominoes are relatively square, so this is roughly where I have to end up. I will ungroup them. I will select the ones that are superfluous, and I'll choose the others and group again. And there we have our lines. Let me just go here, go here. I want to make sure this line is even with the bottom. However, since this top one is off the page, I'm actually going to go by the second line. So I'm just going to make sure it's perfect there. And go back to ungroup, unselect that one line, and regroup or rejoin and delete that one line. We have our grid. Now, if we want, create a new layer, but this grid is going to be simply toolpath is going to be a profile toolpath. It's going to be on the line, and I'm going to be selecting a roundover tool, a form tool that looks like this. If any of you guys see it, so it's actually creating a half round on either, a quarter round on either side of the middle. And boom, it's going to be 0.1875. I know the size of my bits already, and calculate. So this particular, it would help if I actually select all of the paths for this. And we reset preview, preview all toolpaths. There's our dominoes. That is extremely too deep. Not to worry. We'll use a smaller roundover bit and take care of that. Or simply fake it and just do 0.05. Yeah, that's too little. All right, so we have our dominoes such as they are. Let's go back and do our dots. This is going to be fun, right? Luckily, we have a box we can count on. Let's see, what do we have here? 8:45. We still got time here. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to create a box for my personal use, which will be based on one of these boxes. And the reason why I want to create this box, copy. Okay. Add new layer, and paste. Okay, the reason I want to create this box is because we're going to create a domino on this box. Let's see, what did we need? Mostly we need 3s more than anything else. Create a circle on the center of the box. The circle will be approximately, actually,
Andy is leaving.
have a good one, Andy. Got another 15 minutes, so let's see if we can knock this out real quick. The circle, we're going to be using a round over bit and dipping into the circle, so or V-carving it, either way. The radius is going to be, let's make it 0.1. Let's try that, see what that looks like. Let's see. Yeah, it looks about right. Maybe a little bit more. Let's try 0.15. Oh, too big. 0.125. 1/8 inch. All right, that sounds good. And now we shall take, let's go ahead and do something here with this wonderful box. That is, we'll center it someplace. Sorry, we'll move it over to someplace we can work with it comfortably, namely position 1010. I like even numbers, and working with a bunch of decimals is just a pain. So this is centered at 1010. We're going to copy it. We're going to paste it. And that's about right. So we'll see. We'll move it to 9.75, 10.10, so 9.75, 9.75. Nope. 10.25. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that's way doing. Oh yeah, 9.85, 10.15. Yeah, that could work. Apply, copy, paste. Oops, copy, paste. And we shall move the new one to 10.15, 9.85. There's our 3 dots. I hope I went the right way. Yes, I did. All right, so we have our 3 dots. I mean, you could actually create a 3x3 grid, and then which will be very simple with the right size dots, and then remove whatever you don't need, and that will be a nice, easy way of doing this. But for now,
Patrick's here.
Hey, Patrick, you missed your mallet, but well, tough luck. You'll have to catch the rerun. All right, so we have this. We'll group it now. And we'll go back to our original drawing with our grid. Actually, we'll take both of these items. to one of these wonderful little locations, and we'll create a grid of let's see, let me make sure I'm in the right yeah. Trying to think of the best way to do this. Let's try to do it without the box. And we've got a grid of 21 pieces by 15. So let's try that. And at this point, the fastest way is just to create an array and just guess.
I thought you had 22 boxes.
Right, I had 22 lines, but it'll be 21 columns. And the 15 by 21. Let's just see what we got here. Offset is going to be 0.1 by 0.1, and it's going to be, well, yeah, let's make it an offset. So it won't be 0.1, it'll be quarter inch. Quarter inch. Let's just see where that takes us. Okay.
Paul Stewart says put the box on another layer from the circles.
It is on another layer. But I don't want to have to duplicate the boxes, because then I have to remove all the little boxes without removing the circles, and it'd just be a pain in the butt.
And I think he froze. Or I froze.
And yeah, that'll do. At that point, let's see.
You dropped your I'm on screen instead of you. You froze for a minute.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, hang on. Let me. That's weird. Let me redo this again and screen share. Screen sharing failed to start.
Corey says, "Rock on. He'll see you in Atlanta next week. He's got to take care. He's got to go. So take care."
Sweet. Have a good one, Corey.
Looks like your cam dropped on the Hangout.
Yep. Dude. Yep. And let me switch to the different ham. Let me see if I don't lock up here. Oh, that's weird. It's not working at all. Leave it to Hangouts. Nothing's perfect. Well, at this point,
yeah, it looks like you've separated from your YouTube completely, because if I'm showing up and you're not showing up at all.
Yep. That is strange, because I see me over here. But anyway, well, I guess we'll end the show early, because you guys got the idea. Yeah, Paul, I agree. We can put the box on another layer from the circles, and that's another way of doing it. And you'll have two different layers, and you can just dump one layer. But we're taking, I guess, to a certain degree, we're taking artistic license with this, because with the size of the circles. They don't have to be perfect. Yeah. And I apologize for Google's error here, because there is no way short of me logging off and logging back on. Let me try that. And if I drop out, I drop out. Let me give one more thing a try here. Nope, I can't even do that. Okay, folks, this is pretty much the end of the show. For technical difficulties, we're ending 5 minutes short. So have a wonderful day, and hopefully in a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks after the show, we will be showing you all the different items that we've designed over the last few weeks. I will remind everybody, and hopefully I'll have a video coming out soon about the April's almost completely useless challenge.
Herb says thanks.
Remember, everybody, thanks, Herb. Remember, everybody, in April, from April 1st through April 30th, design something that is utterly, completely useless. design counts, comedy counts, and uselessivity counts. So go to it, start designing, start creating something. If you like, look back on my for the rules and everything. Look back on last year's. They will be very similar. The almost useless challenge on my YouTube channel. Pretty soon I'll have the rules up. And you guys have a wonderful day. I look forward to your entries in the useless challenge. That's always funny. It's always a blast and entertaining for everybody, at least for those who can come up with something. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Wonderful evening. Good night.